What's going on, YouTube? I'm back with another video today, and I'm gonna be showing you guys how to do a high skin fade. So the first thing I do before every cut, I do a scalp analysis. That's the correct term for it. What I do is I comb through the hair, I see the hair patterns, and I just make sure there's not any scalp abrasions or anything that can affect you or the client doing this service. After the scalp analysis, I put my first guideline in and I kind of start high. Well, this client particularly, he likes a real high skin fade. So I can start off in the middle. And if I start off in the middle, the fade gonna go up. So I feel like it's gonna be perfect for a high skin fade. If I started it low, it probably would have ended up being like a mid fade in a way. But just to make this client happy, I make sure that I, set all my guidelines set straight, because every cut starts off with a guideline, and that's how you're gonna end it. And what I mean by that is, however you start the cut is how you're gonna end it. So if you start off neat, that's how the cut gonna end. So now I'm on my second guideline. I open the lever all the way and I go up maybe a half an inch or an inch. And what I do is I brush the hairs down as I'm going up on the fade, just to make sure you can see where the guidelines actually sit. So since I'm already at the bottom of the fade, what I like to do is go ahead and get that bottom line out. And what I do is I close the lever halfway and I start to work that bottom line out. And as the line gets lighter, I close the lever all the way and I just clean it up and I just disappear. So boom, I get my red one guard. This is my favorite guard. And what I'm doing is I'm setting in my third guideline. This is after the second guideline. It's really the same as the second guideline. You're going up an inch or half an inch, but you're getting higher into the fade. So you kind of want to pay attention to the hair patterns the higher you get. Debulking has been one of the hardest things I had to learn as being a barber these past 4 years. I feel like that's one of the hardest things that any barber can really say that's something that everybody had trouble with. Well, me personally. But once you learn how to do it, it makes the fade look so much smoother. It don't make it look like a muffin top. And how I do that is I get my 1.5 guard on, not the half guard, the 1.5, and I go against the grain just using the corners, and I keep brushing until it's debulked. You want to keep using the corners of the 1.5 guard and keep brushing until the fade looks smooth at the top. And after that's done, you want to get the half guard on and you want to go ahead and work that middle line out. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the half guard is not gonna get the line all the way out, as you can see. So what you wanna do is you wanna take your guard off and detail. One of the things I also learned is as you fading, you wanna detail as you fading. You don't wanna, I seen a little bulk, so I put my one guard on and I just cleaned it up. So boom, now that I'm done at the top of the fade, all I'm doing is using my corners of the guard all the way open. You don't want to close it because you don't want to gap the fade, or you don't want to make another guideline. You want to use the corners real lightly, and you just kind of want to use your wrist and the corners of the blade. I've been cutting this client for over 2 years now, and he is famous for going to sleep every time I cut him. I ain't gonna lie, that's my boy though. Yeah, I see he up now. After he get him a good 5-minute nap in, he's straight. But this what the fade look like before the lineup and everything, but I'm about to prep him for his lineup. I ain't gonna lie, I just added this to my game recently. I wouldn't say recently, maybe like the end of last year, but I used to just do the hot towel. Now I use the shaving cream and I put it on the outline of his beard and his hairline plus the hot towel. So I spread the shaving cream all around and I let the hot towel sit for like 2 to 3 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, since I started taking pride in my prep, I think however you start something is how you gonna end it. So you start off real sloppy, that's how you gonna end. I've been taking my time prepping the guidelines, the lineups, and just prepping to my client's skin, just so everything can just be crisp and smooth. So after I roll the hot towel off, I wipe off any excess shaving cream, and I use my holding spray. I switched up the way I use my holding spray. I don't like to spray it on the hairline. It's a barber in my shop that told me, doing that can clog your trimmers. So what I do is I get me a neck strip and I just dab it, and it's gonna do the same job. I just try not to use as much chemicals. So after I apply my holding spray, I get my brush and I just brush the hairs down, just so the holding spray can lock the hair in. You don't want to just spray it and just leave it. So I do everything in steps, After I apply my holding spray and prep his hairline, I go ahead and get his mustache out the way. I don't like doing the mustache last because I just be over it, you know what I mean? So I go ahead and get the mustache out the way because that's real tedious, and you just gotta want to have a steady hand with that. So I knock that out while I'm fresh. So now that the mustache is done, I go ahead and tack the hairline. I start off in the middle and I work left or right, however is comfortable for you, but use your mirrors no matter which way you working. I got him facing towards the mirror because the mirror gonna catch what the eyes can't see, and you just want to make sure everything's symmetrical and smooth. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to guess with your own eyes just because, you know, it looks straight with your eyes. You want to catch it in the mirror, and you just want to make sure you don't push him back, and you want to make sure everything is, you know, sharp. You don't want to put too much pressure because the trimmers is already sharp, so you kind of want to you know what I'm saying, be real light-handed, not heavy-handed, because you can cause cuts, and, you know, it depends on how sharp your trimmers are. You know what I mean? I like to use my left and right hand. What I can say to young barbers and barbers coming up in the game, I use both hands. I learned over the years that sometimes you might have to work in a weird angle where you can't use your right hand. So you want to just, over these past 4 years, I just been using both hands, and I'm comfortable with lining up, fading with both hands. You know what I'm saying? I added that, and I feel like that changed my game just because I'm not a one-dimensional barber. Like, you know what I'm saying? Which I feel like you can still be a good barber using one hand, but, you know, it'll just make your game better, and you can move around how you want to if you can be an ambidextrous barber. And also, everybody's skin is different. Some skin might be tougher than somebody else's skin, so you just want to be particular, and you kind of want to get to know your client the more you cut them, because you might can put pressure on somebody, but that pressure that you putting on somebody might not cut them, but it might cut somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It might leave cuts and stuff like that. So you just want to learn your client's skin over the years, whoever, you know, that's locked in with you, and you just kind of want to, like, you know, take your time and be real gentle. Like, you know, you don't want to be too rough, and, you know, that's bad business. You know what I'm saying? It might make the client uncomfortable, or you might make a mistake in the process. So after I'm done with his hairline, he don't like any like enhancements, nothing like that. He keep it real natural. Even his gray, he don't like no black spray. He'll do it himself if he wants to, but I just keep everything natural as possible. But he doesn't like a faded beard also. Some people like to fade the top. He likes it skinny at the top. And I am going to clean up under the beard and the back. I'm just doing the front first. So boom, this is the final results. Y'all leave a like, comment, subscribe, man. Whoever been locked in with me, y'all, I've been getting better over the years. I feel like it. And the work just gonna show. Y'all leave a rate of the haircut, man. I take all criticism, and I appreciate y'all, and y'all tap in with me next video.